Hi, Ladypreneurs. I'm Elise Smith, your faith-based business coach, and you're tuned into Divinely Driven Results on Transformation Talk Radio, where you learn and implement divine strategies for real results in your business. Now, ladies, so many times in business, we look around ourselves and we say, wow, that person is so smart, or that person is so outgoing, or she does this in such an awesome way. I wish I could do that. And then all of a sudden, we end up with this huge list of people that we want to be. Now, it's not so much that we want to be those people, it's that we want to gain their traits. But we are who we are. You are exactly who you need to be. You are a masterpiece from God. But you're also a work in progress, and that's okay to be both at the same time. So today we are going to talk about what kind of traits you want to take on as a business owner, and what kind of traits and characteristics God wants you to have in your business right now, so that you can learn how to have the courage to be. So we've all heard of the courage to be me, right? But today we're going to actually focus on the courage to be, as in an open-ended, full of possibilities ending just for you, that's customized to exactly what you need when you need it. I don't want you to put yourself in a box and just say the courage to be me, because you are dynamic and there are so many different pieces and parts to you that need to be shown. But there's also things that, traits and characteristics that you may want to have or to strengthen in order to be the best version of you. So what I want you to do is I challenge you to think about and take to the Lord, who should you be in this business right now? Think about the traits and the characteristics, excuse me, that you want to gain as a business owner. And not only as a business owner, but as a woman of God. Think about who you want to be, because we get to create that. We get to co-create that with God. What an amazing blessing that is. Now, there's a great technique that we're going to cover today, and it's called a gap analysis. This is where you identify the gap of where you are and where you want to be. And you can really do this with anything, but we're going to do that with traits and characteristics today, so that you can really identify and have the courage to be. And the courage comes not by taking huge, massive steps, but by taking little ones. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. So what you do is you write down the traits and characteristics that maybe you don't feel so strong in. So maybe you feel like you want to increase your confidence or your faith, or maybe your eloquence, how well you speak, your strength or your bravery, whatever trait or characteristic is standing out to you. And then you take that to the Lord. And you say, okay, which one? Help me understand, because when we take our weaknesses to Him, He can make them strong in Him. And so that's the first step, is to identify our weaknesses, not from a place of shame, but from a place of understanding that we want to grow and we have a farther way to get. And that's okay. So what you're going to do is, once you identify these traits, you're going to mark on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are at. So maybe you feel like you're at a 2 on your confidence, and that's okay. We're all at different places, and we just need to accept that. But oftentimes we say, okay, I want to go from a 2 to a 10. And that is where the fear and the doubt comes in. That's where we lose all of our courage to be. And so what I want you to think about is, what would a 4 look like if you're at a 2 right now? Just 2 steps higher. Maybe your confidence level at a 2 is that it keeps you at the wall. You're a wallflower when you're at networking events or parties. But a 4 might look like you're going to talk to one person as opposed to every single person in the room. Or maybe a 4 is just telling yourself in the mirror every day that I am a confident woman. Just making those tiny little steps. So figure out what you can do to get yourself 2 steps higher. Don't take on the world, right? We're just doing 2 steps higher. And that is going to give you the courage to take that on. So the first step is identifying those traits that you don't feel very strong at. The second step is taking those to the Lord and saying, am I missing anything else that you want me to work on? Or is there any changes that you want me to make to this list? The third step is identifying where you're at right now on that trait. The fourth step is to identify where you want to be at. So just 2 steps higher, what that looks like for you. And the fifth and final step is to take tiny action steps to help you get there. All of a sudden, you're going to say, I'm now at a 4. And what does that look like for me to now be at a 6? And before you know it, you'll be at a 10. Just by taking it to the Lord, asking Him for His help, and doing those little steps that will help you to be able to create the characteristics and traits that you want to have in your business. So don't go anywhere. After this break here, we are going to interview Janelle Furman. I am so excited for you to meet her. She's a ball of energy and just love exudes from her 100%. And she has a great story about her courage to be. Now, ladies, if you're feeling a little bit stuck right now in your business, regardless of it's around your characteristics or your traits, or maybe you just need some foundational principles to your business based off of biblical success principles, then I want you to go on to www.divinelydrivenresults.com. And right there, you're going to see a link on that first page that says book a strategy session, or come chat with me. There's a lot of different ways that it says it, but click on that first button that you see and you're going to be able to get a free 45-minute strategy session one-on-one with me, where we can really dive into what is holding you back in your business right now and open those doors for you. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with Janelle Farley Fuhriman, and we're going to continue to talk about this topic of the courage to be. Thanks for watching, ladies. Hi, Ladypreneurs. I am Elise Smith, your faith-based business coach, and you're tuned into Divinely Driven Results on Transformation Talk Radio, where you learn and implement divine strategies for real results in your business. Today, I am so excited to introduce my friend to you, Janelle Furman. And I am going to let her introduce herself, but she has an incredible story and she's going to really pour into you guys. You can get so many great tidbits. So Janelle, tell us about who you are and how you got started with business.
Oh, golly. So first, my name's Janelle Farley Fuhriman. I am a mom and a wife. Sometimes I say wife first, sometimes I say mom first, but to me, they're pretty equal.
Awesome.
I am a daughter of the Most High God.
Yes.
I am unfreaking stoppable. Did you know that?
Oh, I've seen it.
It's pretty amazing. I am a friend, a sister, a daughter. I'm all of those things. I'm also a businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a part of multiple businesses with my husband and with some friends. And this is the first time I'm doing it on my own.
Ooh.
It feels really empowering. Empowering in a way that I didn't anticipate it would be. And so, yeah, so that's who I am. And you said you wanted to know how I got started?
Yeah, how'd you get started in business?
Okay, so I have always been kind of an entrepreneur. I did the whole babysitting thing in high school, and I just knew that I didn't like working for other people. I did it, just not very happily. I didn't know how to start a business. My husband and I, we started a couple of businesses. They did well for the purpose that they were meant for. Only one was meant to make money. But the others, they fulfilled their purpose, and then they went away. So how I started this me doing it for myself and by myself, which, by the way, when I say by myself, I mean with my husband by my side and, slightly behind to catch me when I fall.
Awesome.
But this is me. My name is on the paperwork. So
Okay.
it was about a year and a half ago. And I just had some surgery. You know what? I'm just going to be open about it.
Yeah.
I had lost a good 100 pounds. And I had a breast reduction surgery because none of that weight came from my chest. and this was something I had dreamed about since before I got married. So I just had this surgery. It was a few weeks out. And I got up one morning. And let me tell you, you've gone from longer hair to shorter hair. Mm-hmm. That bed head is real.
I know.
Oh my gosh. And I woke up and I got out of bed. I went into the bathroom and looked in the mirror in all my bedhead glory. And for the first time in a good 30 years, I knew I was beautiful. Yes. Followed by a few weeks later, same thing, bedhead glory, look in the mirror. I knew I had friends. Now, for all of the listeners, you should know I've known Elise for years. Mm-hmm. She is an amazing soul. Mm-hmm. Who loves, just pure love. And she was someone that I thought was humoring me. That's how serious my problem was. That I could know someone like Elise and think that she was just putting up with me for the fun of it. And it was a lie, because she is my friend. Just as I know she is your friend, even if you haven't met her yet, she is your friend. And so that opened up a lot for me. I started selling makeup in a network marketing company, and that went okay. Not the best, not the worst. It went okay. But what it did was it got me into some circles of female entrepreneurs that prompted me to join some mastermind groups and to get some coaching and to learn and enter the world that is self-mastery and personal development. Yeah. And through that, I believe I found my purpose. Yeah. I finally was recognizing that I do have the courage to be me, to be a daughter of God, to be vocal of what this world needs more of, which is love, by the way. And now my mission is to help other people to find the courage to be.
I love that. That is so powerful. I mean, not only just your story of who you were and who you are now, and that person has always been there, right? Like, I think it's so awesome that I've known you for so long because I've always seen that person in you, but it's a completely different thing when you're able to see that person in you when you look in the mirror, in all your bedhead glory. We're going to have to hashtag that, like hashtag bedhead glory.
Oh my gosh. We are going to. That is going to be awesome.
Exactly. We're going to do that when we launch the show. But I mean, you bring up a really good point is I love the fact that you stand for the courage to be. You know, so many times we hear the courage to be me or the courage to stand out, but I love how you open it up so that you can really kind of fill in the blank there. So ladies, I want you to think about in your business, what do you need the courage to be right now? You know, is it to have the courage to be courageous, right? Is it to be, to have the courage to be heard? Talk to us about what that means for you, Janelle.
To be heard?
The courage to be.
Or just the courage to be?
Yeah.
Just last night, we had Girl Scout cookies delivered. And this cute little neighbor girl, oh my gosh, she's adorable. She came over with her mom and her brother. We ordered a couple of cases of cookies, so they all brought them in. And we're sitting and talking. And Shar was jumping on the couch, just bouncing. She's like 5, bouncing on the couch. And she says, "Oh, your house, it's as messy as my house. I like it." And she's like, "Oh, we have the same fireplace. Can I turn it on?" And, she just was her. She was her own personality. And we visited for a good half hour, 45 minutes. And we recognized, because Shar could not stop talking. We're like, her mom is saying, "Where does she get this from?" And trying to like quiet her down and calm her down. And I kept telling her, "No, she's fine." And Shar and I were talking, and my husband was talking with mom. And when they left, we realized where Shar gets it from. Mom. And my husband said something very important. He said, "She's learned how to make it socially acceptable." But that's been kind of sitting a little off.
Yeah.
I think mom has figured out that it's not socially acceptable to be talkative and open and blunt and bouncy. And so she's reined it in. Shar, being 5 years old, the cutest little Girl Scout in the world, hasn't lost her courage. And I think the courage to be, we're told in the scriptures to be as a little child.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, the courage to be means finding out who you were as a child, because that's who you are, and letting that shine. Yeah. Now, I do understand there are issues in this world, and there are pains that our sweet children have had to deal with and grow up. And so maybe that doesn't work for them, but instead, you get to decide who you are and then develop that courage to be who you are.
Yeah. And that does take courage. I mean, especially in society where we're kind of told like, okay, you should be quiet or you shouldn't. I have a friend, you and I actually know her. I'll tell you who she is later. But her parents always told her like, stop tiggering around. And I love that because, you can just imagine like Tigger kind of jumping around everywhere. And I also have another friend who, was told constantly, okay, this is not the time for you to have all that energy and for you to, be loud. But the thing is that we are who we are. God made us in a very specific way. And, one of the things that stands out to me, I was kind of taking notes as you were talking, is you are yourself and you need to be like you, because there's nobody else in the world like Janelle. And there's no one else who can connect the way that Janelle connects with people. And there's no one else who like creates a lime poke cake like she does either. But I mean, that's the thing with all of us, right? Is that we are who we are. And, you were just talking about, how we're trying to be better all the time, but we need to embrace who we are. And I just saw this on Facebook today, actually, and I might botch it here, but it's accept the fact that you are an incredible masterpiece, but you're still a work in progress, and you can be both at the same time. How powerful is that, right?
I like that. And I like how, because as soon as you started talking, I saw how that affects both personal and business.
Mm-hmm.
I have two parts to my business. Everybody keeps saying, well, if you have two parts, work on the one for 80% of the time and the second for 20% of the time.
Interesting.
And, or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Give one most of your focus and just kind of bring the other one along slowly. And that has not sat right at all with me. And so I've got these two parts to my business, but they seem very different at first glance. Like they should not work together. And just last week, I heard a song of two hymns that should not work together. One is Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, which is a standard Christian hymn.
Yeah, my favorite all time.
It is amazing. And that is a very, I'm musical, by the way, just for the listeners to know. I have a musical background, and Come Thou Fount is a very sweet song of the heart. And everything about it is your heart's yearning for Christ. And then there's this other hymn that is specific to my religion, but it's in a minor key. And there is hope in it, but it is much different in feel, and it's opening the mind to the reality of eternity, that there is no end to love in this world. No, there's no end to love, period. In the eternities, in this world, whatever. There's no end to love. There's no end to being. And these two songs should not go together musically. And yet, they do. In a most beautifully fantastic way.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that, I realized that these two parts of my business are not meant to be separate. They are meant to be together. They are separate, but they complement each other. And oh my gosh, they're like men and women.
Exactly. You should see the light bulb that just went off on her face. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is just like men and women. These businesses both have their separate purposes, but together they will make a female entrepreneur of faith in particular stand out in this world.
Yeah. And you know what ties both of them together? You.
It does.
Absolutely. You.
Oh my gosh.
You bring that it factor, right?
Yeah.
You bring that you-ness, and you are the only person who can tie these two different things together in such a beautiful way. We only have about a minute left.
Yeah.
So that our audience is not wondering what's going on. The song that she's talking about is called If You Could Hie to Collab, H-I-E. It's beautiful. You can find the rendition of If You Could Hie to Collab and Come Thou Fount. I can't remember the singer who sings it, but it is amazing. And then just to kind of give them a little bit of something to leave here with, tell us these two businesses. Do you mind sharing what these two are so they can see the big picture?
So the first one is Courage to Be. Shocker, right?
Love it.
And that is helping you to uncover some of the things that you may have covered in you. The second one is So You Want to Be an Entrepreneur. And this is in particular for budding entrepreneurs. And there are going to be multiple facets to this over time. I've already started some of them, but it is going to grow, and it's to support brand new entrepreneurs through some of the very scary things at the beginning of starting your business.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all have experienced that.
Yeah.
So beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much, Janelle. I just want the listeners to remember that they were made, every single one of you guys who are listening, you were made for a purpose. You know, you think about a snowflake and you think about the uniqueness of that snowflake, those cuts and those, like everything is in the perfect spot for that one particular snowflake. And it will never be created again in that exact same way. Well, you kind of look at yourself and you're like, well, I like doing this, this, and this. And then this other person likes doing this, this, and this. Or I sell this and the other person sells this. So how am I unique? It's all of your experiences. It is all of your trials. It's your pain. It's your joy. It's your special gifts that only God has given you in just the way that Janelle does it. You know, in just the way that Elise does it, in just the way that you do it. And the world needs you to have the courage to be you and to be whatever the Lord wants you to be. So thank you so much, Janelle. It has been an amazing topic, and I just get goosebumps just talking about this. So where can listeners hear more about you and follow you?
Well, first, I am the only Janelle Farley Fuhriman on Facebook. So Janelle, F as in Frank, Arley, F as in Frank, Uhriman. But I am cultivating a community right now that I will be posting the link for Elise to share. And yeah, I'm not quite ready to open it up, but it will be by the time this airs. But I am carefully cultivating a community for Courage to Be.
Awesome. And we are all just super excited to be able to be part of that. We also get Janelle with in our Facebook group. So my Facebook group is called Faithful Ladypreneurs, where we help support other women entrepreneurs in Christ, just like you. And Janelle is going to be one of our guest live Facebookers the week that this airs. So come be part of Faithful Ladypreneurs so you can hear more from Janelle, and she may have an offer for you. We'll just have to see.
I'm pretty sure I will. Things have been percolating. You're going to love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Janelle. Thank you guys for listening today. And just keep following that spirit and really have the courage to be. Thank you, guys.